Welcome back to Freedom Algo. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Let's take a look here. Price action's interesting today. The ATR is very low now. So you have to be really careful trading this. I've said this before. When the ATR starts to drop below a 2, it can be pretty dangerous to trade the ES on the 2000 tick chart. So just be careful with that, everybody. Hey, Matt, good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Draw a short-term trend line here. All right, I'm just giving it a second for everyone's notifications to come in. Make sure that everybody's good. I don't know what's been going on with the notifications lately. They haven't been working that well lately. Also, I just posted a short video, so there's a possibility that it messed with some things for the live. I'm going to give it a second. Make sure everybody's in here before I start going through all the trades. Second entry long setting up right now. Pretty decent. The only problem is like where you are on here. You know, if you look at this, you know, we're kind of sideways here. We are in this like overall sort of bullish trend, but you can kind of just see like there's just a lot of resistance up here. There's a lot of levels that just not a sure thing to take a trade right here, even though that looks pretty nice as a second entry. We're not back to any sort of level, which I was trying to have this giant trend here. Let me zoom out. Trying to have this giant trend here, but you can see there's just not a lot of bars today. It's another one of those days. You zoom in. I mean, we have 144 bars. I mean, this is about as slow as it's going to get most of the time. Like, I don't think you're going to see a day that has less bars than this pretty much most of the year, besides maybe a holiday. So that's how it's looking right now. If you're here, please give the stream a like and subscribe. Our subscriber goal today is to get to 5610, so 7 subscribers. And our like goal, we're going to go with 40. 40 likes. We'll see what happens. So if you're here, please give the stream a like. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll start going through the trade setups. So basically right here, let me just do one quick. Let me just let the Discord know that I'm live on the public Discord. Just letting everybody know that way, just in case. I already let the paid community already knows. All right. So when we came in this morning, we kind of had this range. Now earlier, when there's a few ways to look at this, right? You kind of had this level here. If you were here early enough, you would have had this as your low. And basically, you would have seen here that we came off these highs. We got close here. There is a first entry, second entry short with a really bearish candle. And you can see if you measure here, you've got basically just enough room to the EMA for a scalp. But it's probably going to go lower than that. I mean, that's a pretty nice little second entry short. It's not off the actual high there, so I had to mark it as yellow. But pretty reasonable one. That's a second entry short. Now the next trade didn't come all the way until 6:52, so it was an hour and a half pretty much after this one. So the pre-market was slow. And basically you had this move down. You get this move here. Now at this point I would have made that my lows of the range right there. And there is a move here, a first entry, but you don't want to take that. You need to wait for a second entry long or a triple test or something. And it doesn't happen. You get this low here that comes up and then fails and goes down. And you kind of end up down here. Now there's a failure, sort of a failed failure here, but you're not looking to take that. it does go lower because you kind of look at this as a closeout side, 1, 2 legs to a new low, and then you do get a higher low. Signal bar was too neutral though. It wasn't bullish enough. It just missed the qualifications. It's one of those debatable ones where could you take the higher low there? You could, but I just think it's super risky. It's basically a higher low after a failed breakout and 2 legs to a new low. So there's some reasons to like going long here, but I just didn't think the signal bar qualified for me, so I didn't mark it. All right, so then at that point, I made that my range low. And this level kind of came into play here. We kind of came up to it, and eventually we broke above it right there. Eventually, I made this level I drew on here, and I'll show you that in a minute. So we kind of came up, and we get a close outside, new high. I don't think you want to short yet because you're right in the middle of the range at this point. It's kind of no man's land. There's a lower high here, but again, I just think it's risky. Comes down. There is a second entry long here. So at this point, you have a pullback, first entry, pullback. This makes an equal low. So this is a second entry long above this, but that's a little sideways. You wouldn't really know for sure that there's a trend line here at this point. So it's a little bit dicey. Now it is a return to these levels. So you can kind of see this as like test of this level, test of that level, test of that level. It's not really a triple test, but sort of. So you could argue for it, but not the best setup, but it's there. And then I drew a few trend lines here. So let me zoom in so you can kind of see these. So I drew a short-term trend line here. Then I drew a slightly wider channel line. And then I drew an even wider one, and I'll explain. So right here, you get a first entry short, and then you get a second entry short and a triple test. Now, I liked this setup right here. I did take this one, and what I liked about it is you have a test here. You have a test there, right? One test there. These closes here, so that's a second test. So 1, 2, double test. And then this becomes a triple test. Now, I don't love the fact that it breaks a lot higher than these ones for a triple test. But when it closes back down here, you can look at that as a nice little triple test of the level. But I like it because it's a second entry short after the close outside of this little short-term channel and new high has been made. Now, this is one of those examples of like, we had a low ATR day. It moves exactly 1.5 points. So you enter 1 tick below the signal bar. It fills you on your limit order possibly, but if it can tick through. So you get filled there, no problem, with 4 ticks. And that's all you can really get out of that. You could get 5 ticks on a limit order, but you have to be careful with that. And then it goes higher. Now, when it goes higher here, you don't want to look to short now. Now you have to start considering that we have a wider channel. So I drew this slightly wider channel and said, okay, well, maybe there's a slightly wider channel and that this is the close outside. And then it's kind of moving up. Here, this moved on me. It's very slightly. Adjust that. There we go. So this is like our secondary close outside new high. Now, when it kept going higher, I drew this channel even a little bit wider off of here because to me it was looking like it wanted to keep running. And then you have these confirmations and it runs all the way up to here. It breaks above the range high. And then you come back and you get a first leg. And this is just a first entry long. And then you get a second entry long. I took this one as well. You get a second entry long that's also a breakout pullback of this range high. So this was the first breakout pullback. And then you get a second breakout pullback, which I like those because a lot of times the first breakout pullback is not super reliable. Like this could easily have made like just like a couple ticks higher and then came back inside the range. So when you get that secondary, that's really nice. This is only a 4-tick candle right here. So you get into this with a 6-tick stop loss. It's pretty much ideal. You don't really get a 4-tick bar almost ever. So I loved that one. All right, hold on a second. I see a bunch of comments. Good morning, Traderator. Good to see you. Matt. I can talk about failed second entries a little bit. Emmanuel. If we get a setup, maybe. It just depends on the ATR, which is going up. So I might take a trade if we get a setup. We'll see. I'm not looking at the current price action. I'm looking at I'm reviewing the trades from this morning first, and then I'll get over to what's going on. Hey, Jackie, good to see you. Project Panic, good to see you in the chat. All right, so then we come over here. So this one cruises up, makes a new high. So this is played out. Close outside, 1, 2 legs to a new high. There you go. It reverses back down. Now, when it reverses back down like this, you get this little channel here. There's a hidden second entry. You don't want to take that. So, because it's just too risky right here back inside this range. Like, this thing could go down on you. Now, when it comes up here, there is a second entry long right here. You have a new high. You have a pullback first entry. This ticks lower and goes above. So, this is a second entry long, higher low. It's also a higher low after... It's not really a failed breakout, but it's kind of a failed break in. We break back inside the original range and then fail and go back out. So you could kind of look at this like sort of like a higher low after a failed breakout. But the second entry's there. It's not perfect because at the time you didn't have a ton of room to the highs and you just made that new high. So it's risky. But I did have it there just in case. And then when we first started the stream, I was talking about how we were kind of making a second entry right here. But it's not ideal with how it's set up because of where it is. It's like you're kind of in sort of no man's land. I mean, you could argue, you draw this line, that there's kind of a 1, 2, 3 triple test right there. And it's kind of a first entry, second entry long. So there's some reasons to like that. How much room to the highs? You have enough room to the highs there, and it makes an equal high. So there's some reasons to like that. I think we can mark it as a yellow. I would not mark this as an ideal setup because we're not back to the level here. And that would just be a just a second entry long. That's all that is. It's also, I guess we could say here. We'll say it's a second entry long. Whoops. And a triple test. Well, we might as well mark it as both. Let me just make sure that my channel... Oh, yeah, my channel did move on me. All right, this was supposed to be right there. So, off of that close, it did move slightly on me right there. And then... That's annoyingly... trying to get that perfect. All right, this is actually a setup right here, but it's a little bit dicey. I mean, what's the movement on that? I mean, you could do it, but it's a bigger bar than what we were seeing there. It's a little dicey after that double top to take a long here. I'll mark it as a green. Basically, what this is, it's what I would call a visual second entry long. And what I mean by that is that you could look at this like a new high and look at this all like one leg, first entry, second leg, right here. So you could kind of look at this like big pullback and look at this like a first entry and just kind of ignore this little tiny movement right here. So you could look at this as a big leg down with a first entry, second leg with a second entry, but it's a double top. So a lot of times we reset our count. So I'd really consider this like a first entry long. So there's still a possibility of an actual second entry here, but it is off that level. So there's some reasons to like it. These are all okay. They're just not perfect. 1057 East. Okay, 1057 East is... where is that on here? I don't see a second entry. 1057 East. Oh, wait. That would be 657, right? 657? 6... No, sorry, 757. All right, I'm trying to find that. 757 Pacific time. Where would that even be? I don't have a second entry right here. 757. I don't see a second entry. Are you talking about a second entry short? Oh, second entry short. Well, first thing is there's no signal bar, right? This signal bar is not bearish. It's neutral. So first thing is that this signal bar is a neutral bar. It's an 8-tick bar, and it closes basically right in its middle. It closes 4 ticks, pretty much right in its middle. So it closes in the middle 1/3, not the lower 1/3. So the signal bar doesn't qualify as for a short. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have a short-term uptrend in play right here. See? You have a short-term uptrend. You can't take a short while the short-term uptrend is still in play. So if you took a short there, you're taking a short while there's a trend that's still working out. And you can see that. Now it does close outside and make an equal high here. So that's tempting to go short, but it's still risky there because overall the bias is up overall. We just broke back in and failed and came out aggressively from this area. So to me, this is telling, and like you're shorting right into the midline of this two-tiered up channel. To me, it's just too risky to try to take shorts up here because we have this overall bullish bias. When we have now on bullish bias trends like this, you can take shorts. You just need to take them off of the extreme, kind of like almost like a range. Right? You want to take shorts only off the highs of here. You don't want to take them in the middle like that. You want to look for longs mainly when it's a bias up like this, and only take shorts if it's in a really key area like up here. Like even this one, there's some reasons to take a short there that would have been reasonable. Like if anybody took this short right here on this candle, I wouldn't have been that mad about that because it's like a close outside, 2 legs to a new high. Now a lower high would have been better there. But I wouldn't be that mad about someone shorting right here. But it's still not perfect, but that's more reasonable than trying to short over here, where you're pretty far away from the extremes. But yeah, not a good signal bar, and it's also in the short-term uptrend. You have to respect the trend lines. Okay, so we'll take a look and see if anything else comes up. Jordan, good to see you. Jordanauts, good to see you. Good to see you. All right, got a new high here. I have I think I have the all-time high labeled. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Is the all-time high 650875? Someone tell me that real quick in the chat. What's the all-time high on the ES? I think it's 650875. That's what I marked. But someone double check for me, please. And let me know. I have it labeled, and I want to make sure I didn't label the wrong thing. But I'm pretty sure that was the all-time high. I didn't have time to verify it earlier, or right before the stream. But I put it on there just in case we keep trending higher. Now, it'd be quite a feat for us to get there. Because if you see, I have to keep stretching this trend line out. Like, it'd be quite a feat. We'd probably realistically have to break out the top of this, overshoot, come back, and then have some sort of aggressive move. Or form some sort of a trend within here. We should draw a short-term trend off of here because even in a big trend like this, you can get short terms. So we can check through that. Okay, cool. So I do have the all-time high labeled correctly. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Cool, cool. If everyone here, please give this stream a like. Why do we have 16 likes and 30 people here? That is abysmal. Everybody hit that like button on the stream. We're trying to get it out to more people. Our goal is to get 40 likes today. We've only got 16 right now. We're trying to get to 40. So help us out. Hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get 7 more subscribers. We only have 5603. We want to get to 5610. Those are the 2 goals for today. A couple of announcements real quick. Today we have coming up soon. What the heck? That was weird. Okay. We have coming up soon at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So in about a little over an hour, we have our Zoom call in the paid community. So anybody that wants to join that can either join the paid community and you can hop in, or obviously if you're already in the paid community, you can join that. It's a Zoom call. It'll be recorded. When it's over, it'll be posted in here in the weekly trading Zoom calls. I'm going to go over the new tools that I've been creating and talk about those. So I will talk about my new toolbar that you've been seeing up here with the ATRs and everything else that it does. So I'm going to be going over that, kind of showing, like, I'm still beta testing everything, and I'm going to go over that today and talk about what's going on. Obviously, the price action course is in here. And everything else is all in here. You can see from today, this is from today. This was us going over all the morning sessions, everything. You can see it all in here, looking at the different setups, pre-market, how we look at the trades, how we look at the chart. That's all in here. We had a whole discussion in Discord, of course, as always. So that's all in there. If you want to join that, just go into the link tree or the description and you can join the community, and then you can actually hop on that call today live. So it'll be a good time. Other thing to note, it's on here, but I'll talk to you about it. I am going to be out of office next week. You can see here it says Nick on vacation. So next week I'm on vacation and I won't be trading. So I'm just going to take the whole week off next week. Basically, I'll do a stream today, tomorrow, and then on Friday. And then I won't have any live streams until Monday the 8th will probably be the next one. So just letting everyone know, next week I will be out. Monday's Labor Day anyway, so there won't be really trading. But I'll be out of office and just hanging out. I'll still be active in school and I'll be responding to people. I'll be active on Discord. But I just won't be trading. And I won't be doing like the chart updates and that sort of stuff because I'm just going to take an actual vacation. But of course, I'll still respond to people and answer questions and whatnot as I can. Should be a good time. Oh, for sure. Yeah, the new tools are going to be awesome. The new tools are going to be great. I'm already having a lot of value from it. And you can see it here, even on the chart. These little numbers are part of the new toolkit. And it really helps a lot. I mean, you can see right here, for example, this is just an example of one. It shows you right on the chart that this bar was 13 ticks, and it's green. It closed in the upper 1/3. So it helps you know if it's a good signal bar. I will warn everybody, my dog is in the office today sleeping. So if any knocks happen or anything, he'll start barking, and I'll try to mute as quick as I can, but that's just what he does. He's like totally snoozing right now. Alright, so let's see here. I can draw this over too. Another thing about this trade right here that's kind of interesting is it closed right at this level, so that makes it a little bit dicey too. Those can be good or bad sometimes when you get those. Like, if it closed above the level, that's sometimes nicer because then it almost behaves like a failed breakout. When it closes on the level, it's always a little bit risky. That's true, Matt. That would actually be that would be true, or at least we'll blame it on him. There's been a couple times where he was in here and he did do that. And it's like my office is a pretty small room. And that was just the worst. One time he did it while I was recording a YouTube video. And I didn't want to like stop. So I just had to like power through it. Well, we lost a subscriber there. It's going to happen from time to time. We were at 5603. Now we're at 5602. So now instead of 7, we need 8 to hit our goal. But you know what? We're not for everyone. I always say that. I am not for everyone. Not everybody likes corny dad jokes. If you don't like corny dad jokes, then you're the one who's corny. So let's start with that. Not everybody likes talks about hand, pan, and dogs and things like that. Not everybody likes scalping. So there's a lot of things, right? But I say we're for most people. I think we're for most people. Hey, Andrew, I appreciate you. Appreciate you there. Appreciate you. There it goes. Look at that. Replacing the loss with a win. Matt is already gonna get. Matt's already getting the award for go to the chat. Matt is getting the award for go to the chat for now. All right, let's see. So if you're here, please give the stream a like. We got 22 likes. We're trying to get to 40 today. Let's see if we could get it early today. It'd be cool to have a stream goal early. And we'll see what happens. All right, we got 33 people here. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you all for spending some time with me on this Wednesday. Middle of the week. middle of the week on a slow August day. Look at the ATR. The 21 period ATR is 1.86 points, less than 2 points. The 14 period is almost the same. The 7 period is only 1.69 points. That is a very low ATR. It doesn't get much lower than this on the ES, except for on holidays, on the 2000 tick chart. So you have to understand what that means. That means that we're literally getting to the point where our take profit target is recommended under a 4. I don't take trades where my take profit is going to be less than a 4, right? 4 ticks. Like, that's my minimum requirement. So if it starts to be lower, I get really reluctant to even take a setup, because it's the price action's moving so slow and it's so tight that it's almost hard to even get filled on your scalp on days like this. So you have to be aware of that at times. You know, there's obviously big bars happening here and there, but just be aware of that. Now, at the same token, same time, same token, whatever, your stop losses are going to be pretty small today because the bars are so small. Like this bar over here with the 4 ticks was only a 6 tick stop loss if you entered 1 tick above. And if you entered it on a limit order further back, which you would have had the chance because it broke higher and came back, if you got in here down here, you could have had like a 3 tick stop loss or something on that, which is pretty cool. We don't see that very often. So I like to see it. Sometimes, you know, there's some benefits to when the volume gets low, but you got to be careful with it. Let's see. All right, Peter, you said we had a 2-legged move from the 1046 Eastern low. The leg is measured move to the high. What additional confluence should we need to consider a short? Assume the ATR is... Okay, so let's take a look at what you're talking about. So I think you're talking about... okay, so you're saying... Let me zoom out real quick so I can try to follow. 1046, which would be 746 for me. Okay, so you're measuring from this leg. I see what you're doing. So you're talking about a measured move, basically there to there and then there to there. Is that what that looks like what you mean right here? Which it does line up here. I actually like to draw it like more like this. It's easier for me to see it that way without blocking the price action. That is a measured move, 2 legs, but here's the thing, like we've already had this measured move, 1 leg, 2nd leg, you know, and so at this point, yeah, that is 2 legs. This is pretty reasonable to look for a short there, because if you look at this overall, it is a first entry, second entry. The problem is we just came off the lows of the channel, so trying to take a short at the midline is dangerous, right? Even though there's a short-term trend line, it might work. It's dangerous to go short. It's like I said earlier. It's the same reason I said that it's not a good idea to take a short in here somewhere, because you're not really to the extremes. When you have a big channel like this, you don't really want to take shorts unless you're like way up here near the extremes of the channel. You want to treat it like a range in a way. You want to treat it like a range. Now, what do we know about ranges? Let's draw it. We know that on a range... Here, let me get my drawing tool out. Hang on a second. I forgot to pull it up. Give me a second, everybody. My drawing tool is MIA. All right, give me a second, everybody. Give me a second, please. I'm trying to pull up my drawing tool, and it is MIA. There it goes. Okay. Move it over. There it is. Okay. Okay, I think I got it back. So, when we have a range that's doing this, we want to go short in these key areas. We want to go long in these key areas, right? When we have a range. But we want to avoid taking trades in those areas. You see what I mean? We want to avoid that. So it doesn't really change. It doesn't really change on a trend. So you got to be careful with this sort of thing. Jarvis, good to have you. Good to have you. Project Panic. Big Daddy, for me, is confirmed. Big Daddy is confirmed. Anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, and I just deleted. Here, that's the drawing right there. Okay? That's my drawing. Let me delete that and show you. What does that mean? So what does that mean for a channel? So if you're in a channel like we have here, what it means is that we only really want to take a short if it's way up here. We don't want to mess around in the middle. Everybody knows what we always say, don't diddle in the middle. Be careful. Be careful in the middle. You don't want to be going short in those zones. Can you go long there? Yeah, you can go long there if you have a good setup, right? Because it's an uptrend. That's the nuance between a range and a trend. Is that like in a range, you don't really want to go long or short in the middle. In an uptrend like this, you can look for some longs near the middle because the bias is up. You don't need it to go that far to fill you. But for it to go down, you need it to go pretty far to fill you on a short. You have to be careful with that. All right, so this is the Big Daddy channel, right? The Big Daddy channel. The low here. Close right there. Tap right here. That's 3 swings on the low side of the channel. For me, the Big Daddy channel is confirmed right now. Big Daddy channel is confirmed. So that's how I'm looking at this. And I am calling this... Originally, I was saying it was an unreliable daddy. If anybody's in my paid school community and Discord, the premium section of Discord for the paid school members, you would have heard me talking about this. I was calling this the Big Daddy channel. But originally, before this confirmation here, when it looked like this, and we only had this second swing right there, earlier, this is all we had, you know, like we had the low and this swing. I was calling it an unreliable daddy. But now it's more reliable. Now it's just a Big Daddy channel. And if you don't like the dad jokes, come on, man. Come on. I always tell my partner about it, and I'll tell her about some of the dad jokes I make, and she just looks at me with this face like, come on, man. Same way I'm saying, come on, man. She says that to me. You know you're winning when your partner's cringed out by your dad jokes. That's when you know you're winning. All right, so we got... And again, there is a second entry short there, but remember what I said, and it is off the measured move. I just think it's risky, though. I just think it's risky to go short right there. Does it work? I think it might. It might work. It's only a 4-tick candle. It still hasn't filled what your scalp would need, but there is room to the EMA there. It would need to tick 1 tick lower to give you 4 ticks if you did enter there. But again, I'm not going to mark it because it's not a trade I'd take. Especially after we just confirmed this. Okay. We got 25 likes. Can we get 15 more? We're trying to get to 40 for our goal today. Hit that like button on the stream. Let's get it cruising, everybody. Let's get it cruising. We're trying to get to 40. So let's get it going. Everybody hit that like button. We got 38 people here and only 26 likes. The math ain't mathin'. Let's go. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Check it out. I'm excited for the call today. The Zoom call should be good with the paid community. We're going to go over the tools, the new toolbar that I'm working on, the new toolkit. I can't show all of it yet. I can show you the toolbar and toolkit, but I can't show the actual, there's a second part of it that's still in development that I can't show yet because it's not ready. Turbo, Faisal? You're asking how is this a second entry short while making a new high? Well, it is, because this is a new low right here on your swing, right? So this low is lower than this low, which is also lower than these lows. So this is a new low, and you have a move up, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. So this bar would actually be a second entry short, but it's not a good idea to take it, in my opinion. Nah, the measured move doesn't prevent me from taking a trade, but this is not really a second entry long I would take. This is sideways stuff. This isn't really two legs of correction. I mean, it kind of is. This is a double top. This is pretty sideways. I would start my count over from this high right here and look at this like a first entry long. This isn't one where I would count this. It's not a big enough leg for me to really look at this. This is just sideways right here. So I'd count it like this, one leg, first entry long. That's how I'd look at this. I'd look at that as a first entry long, not a second entry long. Also, you have a short-term downtrend. I just didn't draw it, but it's there. You know, it's a little bit dicey here. You kind of have a short-term. It's nothing crazy, but you do have a short-term there. Equal low. It's not really super confident there for me. I wouldn't really be looking to take a long unless it's a little further back here. We need some more movement. It's pretty slow right here and pretty tight near these highs. So it's not a strong trend. It's just an upward bias. So in a strong trend, we'd be looking for more tight movement here. But this isn't a strong trend. This is really sideways stuff. It's a very rangy trend. It's almost like when you have this type of trend where it's like it's relatively flat. It's kind of just an upward, you treat it almost like an upward bias range. So we do want to at least have some level of pullback for a long. I don't really want to take a long all the way up here. You don't have space either, right? So if you measure this, you don't even have enough space to the high to get a full scalp. See that? You only have 1.25 points. You need a point and a half if you enter above the bar. And also that bar is too neutral to take anyway. So you can't take this one here. You see that? How it's a yellow? That's why I love this indicator toolbar, because it tells me that's a 4-tick signal bar, but it doesn't close in its upper 1/3. Now, even numbers are kind of weird with ticks because they don't really have an upper 1/3 sometimes. Like on a 4-tick bar, you know, that's one of those funny ones because it closed 2 ticks from its high. And so it's kind of a weird thing because if it's 2, obviously 2 out of 4 is only half. So it's not, you know, there's not really a third there. There's no fractionalizing of ticks is what I'm trying to say. So you don't always have it exactly as the upper 1/3 or lower 1/3 when you have an even number like this. So what I do is I set it up to round it to the middle 1/3. That way we don't bias the wrong direction, right? So like if you have an 8-tick bar, and it closes at, you know, 4 ticks from its high, I treat it as the middle 1/3, not the upper 1/3, because we don't really know what it would actually be because you can't fractionalize ticks. So I err on the side of if it's on the cusp, rounding it to the middle 1/3 to keep you out of a bad setup. That's the way that I have it set up. Now, I'll talk about that more later on. We're gaining and losing subscribers today. We're gaining and losing. We just had 5606. Now we got 5605. I don't know what's going on. Who knows? But hopefully we see some more subscribers come in. We might hit our subscriber goal today before our like goal. Our like goal is still 40. We're at 30 right now. Subscriber goal is 5610. So maybe we'll hit the subscriber goal first. That'd be cool to hit both. We'll see what happens. I'll be right back. We're moving at a snail pace anyway, so I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I am back. Officially back here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now something's happening. So, short-term trend, close outside. Now we're getting a leg down. You can see a first entry clear from the double top. That's a first entry long. We do have a second entry long forming here. Now, again, the real ideals are going to be off of the channel, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes you don't get the best setup. I'm not going to take a yellow arrow here. I want a better setup for me. Because the problem that you're going to run into here is if you take the second entry, well, we'll see. We'll see how it sets up. You probably have room at this point. You're going to probably have room. It just depends on how it closes. You know? Just depends on how it closes. So there might be a setup that does form here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Got to check my settings real fast. What are we on? Okay. Okay. All right, let's see what we get here. There's a two-legged correction, but it's still pretty bearish right now. It could still finish. It could close bullish. I did, yeah, I did. I made the arrows bigger. I don't know. I thought it would be nice to have them be bigger. I don't know if that's helpful for everyone or not, but I just thought it looked better having them be bigger. Here, I'll show you what it looks like if we make it smaller. Oh, it moved my trend line on me. This is what it would look like if it was smaller. I'll have to move the trend line back. Let me know what you like. Do you like the smaller or the larger? I like the larger. I think it looks better. So, let me know. I'm gonna go back to the medium. Whoops, I didn't mean to go big. Medium. And then I have to move my trend line because it... We still could get a second entry here. It would just be an equal low one. So, first entry, and then this is an equal low. So we still could get a second entry long here. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking, too. Like, I just think it's easier when if you're on, like, your phone or something, too. It just makes it easier to see it. So, I'm keeping them this big. I'm not going to go any bigger than that because it starts to get kind of ridiculous. Oh, shoot. I'll be right back. I got to check something real quick. Hey, sorry about that, everybody. Had to take care of some business. What's going on here? Oh, okay, cool. So we actually have a possible second entry long forming right off of the channel. Now, what's interesting here is also we had this blue line earlier that we kind of came above. So this could be an interesting setup right here. I don't love how aggressive these legs are. I don't love that because the problem is, like, it's a pretty aggressive move. You know, you start to wonder if you got something like this in play. It's a pretty aggressive move with how just, like, harsh that looks coming down. And we might... So let's see what happens with this candle here, because now we have an equal low, so you have to use the most recent candle. Yeah, this is the ES. This is the ES, the S&P 500 2000 tick chart. So let's see if this becomes like a pretty aggressive. Yeah. So it made a new low there. And so you have to use that as your most recent swing. Yeah, I mean that thing's dumping. So at this point, you're kind of just gonna have to treat it like this, you know. Sheesh, that was a harsh dump. So I wasn't expecting to see a candle that big right there, but there you go. So definitely getting sold off here. That's definitely a break of the Big Daddy channel. We can zoom it out now a little bit. That's a break of the Big Daddy channel. So we will expect a possible new high to be made at some point. The only problem, and remember this, when you have a huge channel like this, sometimes it takes a while before it makes a new high. So don't just assume that it's going to immediately now make a new extreme. When it's a big channel, it took a long time for that channel to get 3 touches. It might not happen right away. There's a second entry long forming here from this low, but I wouldn't take it because it's at this point you have to look at this as probably a slightly wider down channel right here. I don't think that there's really any other way to evaluate that. I don't think you can look at this as a short-term channel close outside new low, because I mean that channel just blew this one through. So I would look at this, even though there's a second entry long forming here, I wouldn't take this. It's not a very high risk bar, it's only 7 ticks, but I still wouldn't take it. We'll zoom over a little bit. All right, we got 33 likes. We need 7 more to get to 40, which is our goal. We only need 4 more subscribers to get to 5610. Those are the goals. So, hey, if you're here, please smash the like button on the stream. I'm not talking about the hearts in the chat. I'm talking about the likes on the stream. I don't even know what the hearts in the chat actually do. I have not been able to figure it out yet. I really have no idea. It's like, if I could just like click it a million times, like what does that even do? I don't even know if it does anything. Literally have no clue what that heart in the chat does. Let me know if you know. If any of you know what it actually does, let me know, because I've not been able to figure out what the point of those are. They have them on TikTok and stuff too. It's like you could just keep smashing it. It's like, what does it actually do? See a bunch of hundreds coming through. Yeah, no more excuses. This is the ES. Right here, you can see it up in the top corner. You see how it says ES 0925? It's the September 2025 ES contract. 2,000 tick chart. So each candlestick is 2,000 ticks, which means 2,000 trades. It's kind of annoying that they're called tick charts. I really wish they were called something else, because it's confusing, because a tick is the smallest unit of movement. Yeah, for sure. Project Panic. It just makes floaties. I don't really know what it does. I mean, I guess smash them up. Whatever. Smash them up. Celebrate. We got hearts. We got, yeah. But really all right. You know what? We're going to have to, this is just so aggressive that I'm going to draw this from the lower high at this point, because it's just like, it's not really fitting to keep on making this wider. I'll keep both channels on, but when it does that, I'm just going to draw it from the lower high, because that's just fitting the price action better. But I'll draw this wider one just in case. We did smash back into the original range. It was down here. And, you know, one thing that we can do when this happens is we can consider that possibly we need to move the range highs. Something like this, maybe. You know, and this is a failed breakout up here, something like that, you know, or even like this. Hard to say for sure when you don't have a lot of touches. I'm just trying to see what fits the midline better. I'd say we could probably just draw it right there for now and treat this like a move back to the midline. I mean, if you zoom way out here, it's kind of what this looks like, right? Like it looks like a big range. And now we're going to see if we can come back down to the lower side of the range. So that's really how I'm kind of evaluating this. I originally looked at this as a range day, but we have this upward bias channel that came in, but it aggressively is breaking to the downside here. So now we just have to think, after a move to the highs of a range like this, the most likely scenario is to go to the lows of the range. If it bounces from the midline and starts going higher, we'll draw a new trend channel, and maybe it will try to make a new high. But right now, with this aggressive sell pressure, to me, it looks like it's going for the lows of the range. So we shall see. It's perfect measured move, huh? Oh, that's cool, Das. I haven't seen that yet. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, for sure. No more excuses. I got you. I know, Das. Das showing up. So on the short-term channel, that's a close outside new low. But I drew this wider channel. Let's see if the top side of this actually comes into play. Yeah, that's right, Project Panic. That is like SoundCloud. That could be interesting. Das, are you seeing that on tap it to see? Is it for live streams or is it for everything? Curious, because that'll be interesting. Like just more engagement overall. That'll be a cool thing. I'm gonna see. I'll check my phone and see if it shows up on my phone. Okay, I was able to add the floaty. You said tap to see it. React to specific moments. I don't actually see it. So it's possible. I'm trying it on my phone. It might not be. Maybe it's not available on mobile yet or something. I don't know. So this channel ended up not really coming into play, and you can see there's not really a, I mean, unless it's wider, right? Unless it's off of this level, something like this. But I don't think so. It looks like it was just that lower high channel, because I don't think that this is going to fit, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see, because we might get a down channel confirm off of these touches, so we'll see. Oh, maybe. Might even fit like that. We'll wait and see. I gotta wait for this candle to close. I'm getting overzealous here. All right. We'll draw it like that. It might be slightly wider, but we'll draw it like that just in case to see if this comes into play. You could almost argue that that's a close outside of the short-term uptrend. It's one of those on the cuspers, you know, because it's kind of like this. All right. Yeah, Hassan, pretty nice move down. I'm going to draw this like this, off of this open price right here, kind of through there, and just see if it holds. Because you might get a second entry short here. It's hard to know for sure. So we got to be patient. All right, let's see what we get here. Curious if any of these levels are coming into play here. You can kind of see that level that we, right there, that blue line. Just interesting because it's where, like this, these closes. Let's just see how it reacts. See how it reacts there. Curious.
Order submitted. Order failed. Target filled.
Oh, it moved already. There we go. All right, so let's wait and see here. I'll move to break even +1 because we've already moved pretty far. It might come all the way back, honestly. It might come all the way back. That was a pretty big bar. But that's how you play a second entry short. It's a lower high, second entry short. Basically a perfect signal bar. Now we'll just give it a second. Let me adjust where my target is. So I'm going to move my profit target to this blue line, 64.77, where we had a little bit of support earlier. Because it might wick through there, so I'll leave it on that level. That would be my target for a limit order if it comes all the way down. And I'll just leave it there for now. We are at the midline of the range. So we're getting a little bit of stickiness right here. I'm actually hoping that this turns into a real runner and doesn't just come back and stop me. But we'll leave it at break even +1 just in case. Yeah, it looks like it's going to stop me here. But maybe not. We'll see. I'll put a blue line here where my current position is, so that if it does stop me, there it is. All right, so it would have stopped me at break even right there anyway. So that's okay. I was hoping it would go a little further, but it didn't happen. We even actually might get a lower high here, but not one that you would take, but it might stay within this channel. I wouldn't be surprised. But we'll see here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing turn bearish and completely just go down. Now, I wouldn't necessarily treat it like a failure because of how far it's already moved, but we'll see if it does. Maybe. Nope, never mind. It's going to close outside. So that's a close outside here. There's really no way to widen this channel at that point. So that's a close outside for me of this little bit of a wider channel. Whoops, I didn't mean to. Can move that just a little too far, but whatever. That's a close outside. So at this point, you might get a new low on this channel here. Short-term uptrend is still in play. We still need a new high on the Big Daddy, but that could take a while. That could take a while. So I'm going to shrink this just so it's not in the way. Like that. Trying to put it in a spot where it's not going to move around a bunch. But you can see here, short-term up channel, really tight one. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Not a very big risk bar. I mean, it's only 8 ticks. But like those setups that look like that look like, it's like you could tell that longs are getting trapped right there. So basically what happened is we had a new low, bullish move. And this is like a higher low. So a bunch of people went long there. A bunch of people went long there and they put their stop losses below this higher low. And some of them had their stop losses down here. So a bunch of traders thought they were catching a higher low to go long. But they were too early. And they all got trapped there. That's really what that is. That second entry short is like a trap. It's like a bunch of longs just got completely trapped there. So that was a nice little trade. I liked that one. If you're joining here now, I just had a nice little trade there. Short. Just a scalp. Now it's going higher. Alright, so if you're here, we only need 5 more likes to hit our goal. Our goal is to get to 40 likes today. We only need 2 more subscribers to hit our goal, which is 5610. So we actually only need 2 more subscribers, 5 more likes. Can everybody that's here get us there? Can you hit the like button if you have not already on the stream? And can you hit that subscribe if you haven't already, because we want to try to get there. We're at 36 likes. We only need 4 more to get to 40. And then we'll have a goal celebration. Everybody loves a goal celebration. Or maybe we should say 80% of the people like a goal celebration. Something like that. We don't have the data on this. 38 likes. 2 more likes to go, and we'll have a goal celebration. 2 more to go. Let's see if we can get there, because I got to wrap up soon, because I got the call with the community real quick. If you want to join, you can go into the link tree or in the description. You can join here for $99 a month. And then on the calendar, there's a call coming up in a few minutes. And you'll be able to join. Hang on a second, I gotta sneeze. False alarm, false alarm. So we have a call coming up here really soon. And if you join the paid community, you can join that. And what do I see? Goal! It's a goal, everybody. Thanks for getting us to our stream goal of 40 likes. Oh, we only need 1 more subscriber to have another goal celebration. Are we about to have a back-to-back goal celebration right off the kickoff? Ball stolen, second goal, possible. We only need 1 more. Okay, so this is a close outside. We actually have a first entry short right here. That's an equal high, so you could treat that like a high made. So we might actually get a second entry short here. Now, do I want to take it? I don't know. That gets a little dicey. You could kind of look at it like a possible triple test. Not saying that I would short right there, because that's only a first entry. But we could see this thing dump lower. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Zulus, what up? Good to see you in the chat. Oh, we were so close. We had 5609 subscribers, but we lost 1. So, we probably won't hit the subscriber goal unless something amazing happens here. All right, let's see what we do here. I'm not going to take another setup. I got to go to the call soon, but I'll watch it and I'll talk about it as it's kind of going. So we do have a close outside of the down channel. Now we might get a new low on this down channel, and that's a first entry short right there. So what could happen here is we get another attempt higher and we actually get a second entry short that acts as like a triple test. That could be a really nice little setup. So let's see. But it has to form the right way. What we don't want to have is a first entry move up and create a failed second entry short that then goes higher, because that could also happen here. Remember, we need a new high on the Big Daddy and we need a new low here. Oh, what do I see? Goal! That's 2 goals back to back. Thanks, everybody, for getting us our goals today. Love it. Love it when we get the goals. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you all. So, at this point now, I wouldn't take the second entry short here, because it's now going above the EMA. It's getting pretty steep. And we don't know for sure if we're going to end up with some sort of like a pattern that looks like this. You know, we might end up with some sort of like a little channel that looks something like that. You know, we don't know yet. We could end up with a failed second entry short here. It might succeed, but it's one of those ones that I think is too dicey to take now. Because we made this new low. We got aggressively came up. And if you think about it, this tight channel had a new low. This is one more leg to a new low. So that might be all we get. This wide channel might not really come into play anymore. because we do need a new high on this bigger channel. So you've got conflicting things happening here because one channel needs a new low, one channel needs a new high. We don't know what's going to happen first. And now this is pretty aggressive as a move up, right? So if we get a short here, a second entry short, it could very well fail. It's forming above the EMA. It's the exact type of setup that usually does fail, where it comes it aggressively reverses on us and it traps a bunch of shorts when they try to go short here. So, and especially with it breaking above that level right there. Remember, that level was kind of significant. It's kind of lining up with these levels from before. So it's somewhat of a significant level. It's not the most significant level we've ever seen, but it's somewhat significant. We had this level earlier too, but we'll see if we just break straight through that. Thanks for getting us our goals today, everybody. Thanks for getting us our goals today. Let's throw some trophies in the chat here. We got some trophies. Let me see. See what YouTube gives us here. That's what YouTube gives us as our options. There we go. It's in the chat. Oh, yeah, my bad, Andrew. I didn't see that message, but thanks, everybody. Yeah, 21 EMA. The white line is a 21 EMA. That's the only indicator that is on the chart besides the ATR listed up here. And these numbers below the bars are the size of the bar in terms of tick amounts. Yeah, so MJ, they're the numbers, they're the size of the bar, right? So if you see this one that says 11 right there, if I measure the bar from low to high, you see how it's 2.75 points? That's 11 ticks. So it's just telling me how large the bar is from high to low or low to high. It's same thing if I middle click it, you see how it says bar size in ticks 11? That's what it is. Yeah, MJ, that's part of the new toolbar that I've built that's gonna be available very soon to the people that are in the paid community. So basically it's just I have it set up right now to only show me like the last like 9 or so candles. I can have it show me the candlestick size going a lot further back if I want, but I don't want it to muddy up my charts. So I just have it show me like the recent bars. Helps me see what's going on. Helps me see if it's a good signal bar, too. If it's green, it means it closed in the upper 1/3. If it's red, it means it closed in the lower 1/3. If it's yellow, it means it closed in the middle 1/3. So it helps me see if it's a good signal bar, too. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap up here, everybody. We had our stream goals hit. Amazing. I'll set up the stream for tomorrow right after this one so that you can put on your notifications. Anybody that wants to learn more, check out the link tree, check out the description. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit your notifications on because I go live every weekday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. Anybody that's going to be joining the Zoom call, I'll see you in a few minutes. If anybody wants to join, just join the paid community. It takes like 30 seconds to join, and then you can join the Zoom call right after this. All right, everybody. I will talk to you soon. Thank you. I appreciate you all, and I'll see everybody in a few minutes on Zoom.